Close your mouth. All right. I have two mics. I feel really important. Okay, I'm going to call our meeting to order. I asked Mindy to take our opening prayer for us today. So, if you will join me in prayer. Creator God, thank you for the gift of this community at Forest Park. We ask that as we go through the business of the church and meet and discuss who we are and where we're going, that you be present with us and give us the wisdom to steward our community well. We ask these things in your Son's precious name. Amen. All right, so first up in the order of business, we have two sets of minutes that we need to get approval for, so we put those in the materials that Mindy sent out last night. One is the, December 14th of 2025. We did not have those the last meeting, so we had to bring those forward to approve this meeting. And then the last meeting was on March 22nd, 2026, and we have that one as well. So I need a motion to, or any questions, I should say, on the minutes. Cricket, oh. I move to approve. Cindy has moved to approve. Can I have a second? I have Miss Marcia Hagee for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Silence is golden. All right. So was that for both sets, Cindy? Yes. Okay, that was for both sets of minutes. We're just going to make that quick. All right. So I don't know if everybody knows, but we did transition Phil Carnahan off. Thank you. Phil's not here, but thank you, Phil, for his service of being our financial reporter. And we have now Joyce Duncan that is going to take that. Where is Joyce? She's so tiny, she hid back there on me. So Joyce is gonna come up, and we have the financial reports on, you can see the giving sheet, and then the income and expense versus budget towards the back of the packet. So yeah.
Okay, so what we have is the first quarter. We're still working on getting some final numbers for the second quarter, so we'll have those at the next meeting. I just want to say that we have pretty much normal expenses. The first thing you probably noticed, though, is there is a miscellaneous income received, which is separate from our weekly giving, and that's on about the third line down, $134,889. That was a gift that was given from Esther Simonis. And so we put that money in the general operating and used part of that for the sign. On the next page, down you'll see miscellaneous expense, which is 65007 account. Shows $20,482. Well, $20,000 of that was the down payment for the sign. You'll see the next quarter, you'll see the other part of the sign, and it is a beautiful sign. It's $38,473, so you're gonna see that come paid in full on the next quarter. The only other thing I see that is kind of out of the ordinary is on the 6400 care account. It says other, and there was a $10,000 gift that was approved first part of this year at one of the board meetings that came from the Rick Jackson Fund, I believe. So those are the major things. I think everything else is pretty normal spending. And do y'all have any questions? And that's all I have. Thank you.
thank you, Joyce. So just a couple little other comments on that. There was one thing I noticed in the financials. There was a little bit higher spend on youth groups, and that variance, Mindy and I were talking about that, and it really is just, we have a lot more youth participation, which is a wonderful thing. So, yeah, so we're good there. The next item on the agenda is our 2026 officers. And we have those on, we would have gotten that taken care of last quarter, but oops. Sorry about that. And we also did have a little bit of a shift. So as you all know, the Baker family left us for Colorado. I can't imagine why they would want to live in the mountains with the beauty that is there, but because of that, we lost our vice chair, Shannon Baker, who was going to take my place. So we have worked with Vicki Peters, and we are including her as the vice chair, and she'll take my place when we decide to roll me off. We're going to give her a little bit of extra time to get familiar with the chair type role. But that's really that, and then of course Joyce Duncan as our financial reporter are the only changes to the officer lineup. And then, so I guess with that, excuse me, I need a, motion to approve our officers for 2026. I have Howard motioning, and I've got lots of seconds. So I've got a Sandy Randolph was the first one I saw, seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Great. Next up is our 2026 elders. I'm going to let Steve speak on this.
So we kind of did some rearranging and reorganizing a few months ago. And so I'm temporarily working with the elders, and we had some elders that needed to rotate off and some that we wouldn't let rotate off. And then we asked some to stay on for the rest of just this year to get us through the end of 2026. So you'll see the list there, but that's just a partial list. If you have that there in front of you, you need to also add Keith Davidson, Howard Weibel, Debbie Harshfield, and Shannon Puckett. And so those, along with the ones that are mentioned there, those are currently our elders for the rest of this year. If you have not heard from them, you'll be hearing from them shortly or soon. And they'll be working as our new elder team. So we'd like to have a motion to accept them as your elders. Second. All in favor?
Okay, just for the recording, who was our motions and seconds? We have Kim motioned and Jeff seconded. Thank you. Okay. Perfect.
Ridiculous.
All right. So the next item on the list is something that Bill and I have talked about a little bit on and off over the last few months when he's felt up to it. So we have included in the packet a couple of job descriptions. So what we plan to do is come back to you for a special board meeting here in the next few weeks, maybe even as soon as next week if I can finagle that. But what we are wanting to do is transition Mindy's role into a full-time family ministries role. So we want her to be able to dedicate her entire responsibilities with a couple of things that are still admin, but mostly everything Mindy would do would be support that ministry of faith formation role that we've put in here, and carving out all of the administrative components that she's been handling into a part-time church administrator. I think a lot of us know Mindy gets pulled 14 million different ways, and our youth are our priority, and she has grown our youth program in 2 years, and I have notes that I can pull out wherever I stuck my phone. But she has grown our youth program significantly in just the 2 years that she's been here. This year, our camp attendance was the highest camp attendance of any church in the region.
It's never been that.
We've never had that. Like, that's just phenomenal. So we are overwhelmingly proud of what Mindy's been doing with our youth program and really want to enable her to just own that and run with it and continue to build it and be what it is and what it can become. And in order to do that, we just need to pull that admin piece off of her plate so she can really focus that time. So what,
Yeah, this is, yeah. This is the move. I mean, this is the move for a very healthy church that values families and that values young people. This is, I mean, the fact that we are saddling that position with other administrative tasks just weighs that down. So the next level, the next step, this is the move to do this. And Forest Park is poised to do this right here. So this is less about just getting somebody to fill in on an admin stuff. This is more about bolstering this important part of our church that we identified a decade and a half ago, that youth and children were our priority. This is the result of that. So I'm so excited that we could have the opportunity to delve into meaningful ministry, continuing the meaningful ministry that Mindy has so bolstered in this environment. But we did want to have conversation if anybody wanted to do that. I didn't want to step on you.
No,
Go ahead. Sorry.
So the job descriptions are in there. What we're going to be looking for in a part-time church administrator is someone external, preferably to the church for several reasons. But the goal with them, essentially it's going to require that person 15 to 20 hours of work per week, with the beauty of the flexibility that brings. You know, this could be someone who is a teacher and needs some extra work in the evenings, and you know, really they can work it around their schedule and needs, but they will support, you know, on the accounting side, the facility scheduling, keeping up with communications, a lot of that. I mean, all of that takes quite a bit of time. So preparation for worship. So we wanted to include the job description here so that you guys could look over it. Certainly, if you know of folks with this type of skill set, the qualifications are listed on the kind of the back page of that particular job description. But if you know of folks that might be looking for a part-time job, that's something that we'll be looking for. But we'll come back to you all here shortly to get approval. Yes, Vanessa has a question.
Yeah. So the question was, why are we looking external for this position? A couple different layers and levels there. If a church member applies, that church member no longer they cease to be a church member and they become a staff member. We've done that before several times in this church. It's not an ideal path, because they cease to be able to worship here. It becomes their job. That's number one. Number two, we need to be able to direct that person very, very efficiently. And so as a church member that I'm trying to pour pastoral care into and everything else, that I'm going to need you to make 5 copies of this, please, also. I mean, so I would love somebody to, I'm not saying that we cannot have somebody internal, but the very first priorities will be external people that apply. And I'd love to expound on that if you guys want to, have more conversation about that. But that is an ideal situation, because there are plenty of people that are Forest Park members that would do really well at this. 100%. And yet it presents some conflicts that I'm not willing to entertain at this very second. So if you are a church member that applies, it will be at the bottom of the stack. That does not get looked at right now. But we are not closing the door and locking it on that. It's very preferable to have somebody external. It's a good question, Vanessa. Thank you for asking.
So again, we'll come back to you all for approval for this in the future, very near future, and we can address any additional questions at that time, I think.
Yeah, any other, we really did want to have a forum to have questions and conversations about this. Is there any other thoughts you guys might have? The reason we're not approving the position right now is because we're just now throwing this at you. So wanted to give you time to digest.
Absorb.
Please have conversations with Renee or me or Steve or Mindy, or whoever else you want to have conversations with throughout this week. However, I don't know how long we're going to take to have this next meeting, but the next meeting will be yay or nay, let's go. Love to have conversation either right now or after this meeting's over with or throughout the week. I'm not here a bunch. You can call me. I might answer.
You can text him, then
Yeah.
he'll call you.
I said this when Mindy was brought on. When I had this conversation, I said it's a position that no one person cannot.
I agree. At the time, our budgetary constraints, we had to kind of mold this together and whatnot. I agree. Kim the prophet has called this.
Kim saw this coming.
Let it be written, so let it be done. So yeah, and again, and Kim is not the only one that has come to us and said, dude, can we not please have many more, and again, it's confidence in you, it's confidence in, and not just you personally, it's confidence in what you've built and what we've built as a church. So it's the next move, it's good, we can do it, so I'm so excited about that. Anybody want to throw some cold water on it? Now's the time, I'm serious.
It's a good time, yeah. So one question that didn't get asked is like, how much are we gonna pay this person? So you might be wondering that, and I think we've kind of landed around the 20,000 salaried mark. Again, 15 to 20 hours per week. We feel like that's pretty fair within the market of kind of what that type of role would provide. That's kind of where we're probably gonna start at least, or try to
Yeah, I mean, we
land.
may have to come back and ask
Yeah,
for more,
who
I don't
knows?
know, but 20,000, I think, is a pretty good side hustle. And again, there are deadlines in this job, but the flexibility of when you can do it is the huge selling point in this. So I don't care if you're up here at 2 in the morning doing it, it doesn't matter to me, as long as it's done,
Correctly at
by
2
the
in the morning.
deadlines, right? 2 in the morning, well, you got
I
a
don't
key,
work
I don't
well
know.
at 2.
But so if you know somebody in your orbit that has the skill set that would love some flexibility and a side hustle, it would be great. Like send us your way, and we'll do interviews and stuff
Oh.
when we do the position. Yeah.
Question from Beverly.
Hang on.
Oh,
Okay, so the question was, can this be considered partially remote? Yeah, I mean, anything that you can do from home, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as it's done, right? Now, there are some financial things that need to be done at this computer, I think,
yes.
right? So there are some things that need to be done here, but if you're doing the Pew News or something, and you can do all that remotely from home, and you can do, yeah,
Yes. Absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
not a
that's
bad
really
idea. That's
great
not a
point.
bad idea. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for that. That's great. That's great.
Other questions? I see one back there.
Brute?
Brute?
Could you speak to any shifts, how you're handling it now, and in the immediate future as Bill's recovering, what is happening with the shifting of duties for adult pastoral care?
Ooh, okay, good. So that's not really about this, right? That's about just something. So Brute's question was the shifting of duties right now.
I would like to reframe it in the same sense that this position is allowing Mindy to reframe her desires.
All right, good call. So Brute's question was, while I am in the middle of a recovery process and I am absent in many different ways in the facets of the church, Steve and Mindy have stepped up big time in being able to pick up the slack. There's some things that I would do. Of course, we've got the guest ministers that we have scheduled throughout. We've got August covered. I've got a scan coming up tomorrow, and then we'll decide what that means later on. But the shifting of duties, one of the things that we put in the new job description for the faith formation person is pastoral care as well. So it's not like Mindy is just going to do 0 to 18. Pastoral care would also be, hospital visits when we need her to, and should be an associate minister role. And so she'll be picking up slack in that as well. Steve's been doing that a bunch, and Mindy's been doing that as well right now. They've been doing hospital visits. They've been checking on people. They've been putting me in the loop of who's doing what and different situations that church members can get into that I'm not, directly involved in. They're picking up slack there. As far as anything else, how else can we answer his question? The things that are.
Secondary sense, this takes some of the burden off of Steve as well.
Yes. Well, I mean, right now, they're still shouldering a bunch of it, but officially in the job description, yes, this would take some of the burden off of Steve and Mindy, especially when we get a part-time person in here. So Mindy's not having to worry about when the Pew News is coming out. She can focus on other things, including overlap that I'm not doing because I'm healing, right? So it's a great question. Yeah, it is interrelated. I appreciate you saying that, Brood. Does that make sense? Did I just muddy the water there? Okay. Yes, so that also helps our current situation until I can get better, whatever better means. Okay.
Other questions? I wish I had a gavel.
Ooh, we gotta
need
get
a
next
gavel.
meeting.
Yeah, or a tambourine, Steve, just saying. That's true, I'm up here. Okay, oh, James.
One question, a different subject. Is there an update on the sanctuary seating and size?
So the question was, is there an updating on the seating sanctuary and size? Not really.
Not really.
I mean, we will continue to play with, that is one of the things that we did that was such a great deal. We got chairs instead of pews, so we can always play with it. Once the fall starts and we'll have the handbells back up, we'll play with whatever. We had talked about extending platform stuff. That's not feasible. We're not really gaining anything there. So that's kind of dead, I think, correct? Yeah. So we're going to continue to play with what that means, what that looks like. If we are so overloaded in the fall that we need a second service, those questions are going to be asked then. But right now, we're doing okay. So we're just continue to play with it. That's not a great answer, but
Just, if anyone's playing the lottery,
yeah,
could still use about 5 million.
yeah.
Okay, I think we have covered that topic. So again, we'll come back to you shortly on that one. Branch updates. So now that microphone can make a little run around if we don't want to, or you can come up here. Your call. Starting with Steve on worship.
So the choir and handbells have been on summer break, but they resume rehearsals on August 19th. And then coming up on September 20th is our all-music service, which we look forward to every year. And also we have the Christmas music in-house, so we'll be starting to look at that probably right after the all-music service. Something that's not exactly worship-related, but I wanted to share about our social media team. We have a young man that's been visiting, I think today was his 4th Sunday here, and as I always do, and asked people, how did you find our church? And he said, it was the post online. And then today we had a young couple that were sitting back here against the window, and I asked them how they found Forest Park, and they said it was the Instagram post. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, good.
Well, I hope everybody had a good time last night at the karaoke and ice cream, and thanks for the people who stepped up since I had other plans. And I can't remember, I forgot to look at my calendar. Do we have anything that I'm doing that's coming up?
We got the
can't
back to
remember.
school, or the,
Oh, okay, well, that's next. And then we'll have the Thanksgiving and all that business coming up, so it'll be
Delicious.
here before we know it.
thanks, Dana.
Let's see, can we get Kim the mic?
Am I on? Okay. The care team really just continues to do what we do. We do the service at the day center, which has gone really well. Lots of new people. It's really great to see when somebody signs up to serve. We have all of that coming up. Please, if you haven't served, volunteered to serve in August, please do, because the sign-up sheet's out there. But we also, the care group just also distributed $100 gift cards to all of our teachers and counselors that are in our congregation. We distributed 21 this year to all of our teachers and counselors in our church. So, and hope that we didn't miss anybody. That's always a fear.
Yeah, and if we did, let us know.
We've
If
got
we did, let us know.
ones that we can get to them. So,
Yeah.
But I think that's it.
You're up, Tom.
We are continuing to mow. We were happily gifted a new lawnmower, riding lawnmower, from Rob Harris's parents. Thank you very much.
Oh.
They moved, and we also, the one of the playground equipment is rusted. We cut it up, threw it away. We've ordered a new one to put together, and we'll be assembling it next week to install back on the playground, the climbing structure.
Property's doing a great job.
And we'll keep moving chairs around.
Okay, so no, wait, before we pass to Mindy on youth, Tom also told me that some of our coolers have gotten legs and walked off from this building. So if anybody has borrowed a cooler, I'm not gonna say they took legs permanently out this building, but we'd really like our coolers back.
Blue and white one's on wheels, the blue and white one that's on wheels, we use every month at the day center.
Blue and white one on wheels
Where
in
would they go?
specific, we need back, so.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, I know, so.
Yeah, sure. Second, you know,
All right, I kind of stole a little bit of Mindy's thunder with talking about some of the youth stuff, but I'll let her give more detail.
Okay, so this last year, we started the school year of 2025-2026 with 70 kids and 55 active. We had some kids move away, some families move away, and we gained some new families. So we have a net increase of 1 kid. We have 71 kids, but what is different is we've increased our active count. We have 65 kids who are active on an average of twice a month. And so super excited about that. It's also why our budget's gonna be way out of whack. Also I think we budgeted for sending 22 kids to camp, maybe 23, but we sent 27. So that budget line is also out of whack for good reason. But we're going into this fall, I was doing some math. We have roughly 30 adult volunteers working with our youth and children on at least twice a month. And so that's really exciting. We are going to do a children's and youth volunteer ministry kickoff day on August 8th, where we're going to come together. I've got some folks coming in to do some training, and we have some fun and games planned, and so that's going to be a really good way for our volunteer team to kick off our new school year. On August 9th, right after service, we'll do a parent meeting and get them in on the loop for the upcoming school year. And then on August 10th, we are going to do our back to school splash. We're taking over Sungate Pool that Monday night, and we'll have a cookout and swim party. And then the kids go back to school the end of that same week. And then on September 13th, we'll do a fall kickoff. We'll do a potluck barbecue kind of thing. We'll work out details. And then we'll have some inflatable water slides and activities for the kids to help get them going in their youth groups for the upcoming school year. We'll have fall retreat again with the region. I'm waiting for dates on that. And yeah, it's going to be a good, busy fall year. Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
thanks, Kurt.
Well, and it's really important to say that I really could not do it without those volunteers, especially with holding on to the admin piece. Having this team of volunteers gives me huge peace of mind because I know and love and trust these adults, and I know they're doing a great job with our kids when I'm not there. I'm
Thank
gonna
you for
stop
saying that,
before I
Kurt.
cry.
You can pass that to Steve. I think we're about to wrap up here. I did want to mention, just because I've gotten this question from a few folks about like church shirts, and we are working on a couple of new designs, so hopefully in the next month-ish, I don't want to promise any dates, but Kim and I are working together to get some ideas pulled together and get a shirt order, because we do have a lot of new members and lots of people wanting to share the love that our church so greatly does a good job of sharing. So with that, Thank you for your time today. I'll pass to Steve for a closing prayer. Oh,
About the t-shirts, last weekend there was a group get together where we discussed a little bit about shirts. And since there are so many new people in the church, the old-fashioned kindness changes everything. The old tried and true
Yep.
that everybody just absolutely loves should make a return.
okay. Thank you. That's good to know. Yeah. There we go.
Just a plug, we do have a new, an adult Sunday school class happening in August. It's going to be taught by Marcia and Root, and it's looking at the Apostle Paul, and that's going to start next week, right? So
fun.
I'm sure there'll be more details probably this week coming out in Pew News and otherwise. But all right, let's pray. Are you ready? Dear God, thank you for this.